at the absolute most, if we were an independent country, we could easily afford that if we had the 16 billion corporation tax that led up to it. Let's talk about my favourite topic, volatility. Oil is volatile. I'm not going to stand here and say that the oil price is not volatile, but I want to just say that it's volatile in a massively upwards direction because Brent crude oil price has increased by a factor of 10 over 10 years. Just look at that volatility in a significantly upwards direction. $10 per barrel to, if I remember right, I think it was $111 per barrel last year. Volatility, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on holiday in the Lebanon and the UK consulate says to everybody, this is a warning that the situation is about to get volatile, volatility is bad. Okay? If you are investing in the stock market, volatility means there's an opportunity to make a profit. Yeah? It goes up and down, but oil has gone up in value. Here's the stock market over the same period. It's even more volatile. And yet the UK is hugely reliant on the stock market. So basically if you say, well there's volatility, you can't base your economy on that. It's no more than 14-15% of Scotland's economy in a really good year. But we're going to base everything on an even more volatile sector of the economy, and is far more important able to sink the entire nation. Now, if you actually look at the crash here, it actually precedes the crash here. So the major piece of volatility in oil prices actually came as a result of the financial crash, not of anything else, so the lack of demand that followed. You don't believe me? Here's the volatility of the price of onions. Somewhere in the world there's someone driving a Rolls-Royce convertible calling himself the Onion King, right? And yet look how volatile onion prices are, especially compared to, they're not even volatile in upward direction. Now, North Sea, I figured it out. I figured out the formula. If you actually look at, we were told that the 1970s there was 10 years of oil left, and in the 80s we were told there's another 10 years, and in the 90s we were told it might be 20 years. Now we're being told there's 40 to 60 years. Every 10 years it expands by 10 years. So basically, it's going up and up. I talked to the chairman of the UK, London-based, ironically, London-based organisation, the trade body, the UK Oil and Gas, and he told me that when a well in the North Sea is considered to be finished, it's still got between 40 and 60% of the entire oil left in it. We just don't have the technology to get it out. The leading country in the world at developing technology to get the last bit of oil out is us. And we're actually 40% of all the corporation tax paid from the oil industry to the Scottish Government from Scottish-based companies is actually from the operations abroad, in marginal fields abroad. I think that's an absolutely fascinating thing to hear. So basically, there's lots of mileage yet in the North Sea, but we can either choose to spend that money propping up London and the South East, or we can invest it in the next bonanza for the North Sea of tidal power, which is never going to stop and never going to run out. Unless there's an oil, unless there's another ice age, but then I don't think we really care. I love this from the Telegraph. The ultra-unionist paper is actually quite without any sense of irony. It says North Sea oil to give George Osborne 25 billion boost. Just at published the same day as we were being told that we can't base our economy on a volatile oil. I don't have that 25 billion to take our chances. Thank you very much. Oil prices. In terms of what the Office of Budget Responsibility, which is constantly called neutral, constantly called independent, is not neutral. It's staffed by neoclassical London thinking economists. So yes, they're independent of the government, but they're not neutral. They're not free-thinking economists, in my view. They say that the price is going to go down to $98, but the OECD, which takes data from 28 richest nations in the world, you might see where I'm going to go here, actually says that the price in 2017 could go up to 158. I'll take anything above 100 is enough to be a real strong jackpot for our country. In fact, 98 is pretty good as well. But now for some sad news. Colin and Chris Weir have just found out that the week after they won their world record jackpot, that the Euro jackpot was only 8 million. Colin said, "We didn't realise that this lottery jackpot was so volatile, we're going to have to give it all back. We don't want any of that would That might not be true. And so the lesson, ladies and gentlemen, is that jackpots tend to be volatile, but nobody would ever turn them down. Even if you won 1 million, I'm going to rip this up, I've only won 1 million. I want to finish on this particular sector, and there's just one more quick one to do, which is something I just found out a couple of weeks ago, which I think is absolutely fascinating. It ties in with a lot of the values we were talking about before. This is a map of how quickly you die. The darker the red, the less you live, the longer you live here. As you can see, the average lifespan in Scotland and Northern Ireland, in some really poor areas, and hopefully we're just on the cusp of that. Here is between 70 and 74. The further south you go, there's obviously the sort of Manchester and sort of Birmingham bit there. The further south you go, the longer you live, and that's because there's a direct correlation between the equity of wealth in a country and the sharing of wealth in a country to how long you live. Interestingly enough, there is 3 areas of dark green that are so small you can't actually see them in the map. Would anyone like to guess where the average person lives between 82 and 85? 3 areas. Sorry, Palace of Westminster. Westminster is indeed one of the areas where you're actually going to live to over 82 on average. Anyone else?
Windsor.
Windsor? No, unfortunately. Chelsea and Knightsbridge. New York, maybe. It's worse for males than it is for females, but it's just, being male and kind of right of this. The male life expectancy in Scotland is 75 versus 79 in the South East. So wait a second. Males in Scotland pay the same percentage of their wage into the pension for their entire working lives, and then actually get about 4 years on average less back. God, we're actually subsidising them when we die. Now there's a skill shortage. Country, Scotland's actually life expectancy would probably go quite high and it causes a problem, but I've got a plan for that. That's okay. But here's an even worse figure. Healthcare life expectancy in Scotland is only 59. It's the biggest gap that you can get in any for a working male. So basically, because we can no longer afford pensions because people are living much longer in London and the South East, we have to work for longer, but your average Scottish male can't work beyond 59 and a half. So basically, they're going to have to be on disability for all that time. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? So we need a different solution for Scotland. So that's the end of the economic facts, and I'll take any questions from on that. But what I want to say is that Business for Scotland is a group of companies that have come together because we believe we can grow Scotland's economy, not because we're right-wing or want to get rich. We come from all different walks of life, all different parts of Scotland. We have, on our board, we have representatives of all major political parties, except for Liberals. There's no movement to be one. I think I'm pretty safe in the Liberals, right? But we have Greens, we have Tory card holders, Tory fundraisers who have joined us. And we basically said, well, okay, let's give the truth. Stage 1, we talk the truth about Scotland's economy so people can actually make a decision and detach themselves from all the scare stories and actually understand that Scotland can grow them, stand on its own 2 feet. Stage 2 will actually come up with a plan to give to the Scottish Government, whatever colour it is after independence, and we'll say this is what business needs to thrive, this is what we crowdsourced it, and we actually came up with keywords. And this is from the business point of view. What we came up with was, number 1, we wanted a fairer distribution of wealth and opportunity. And you might think, wait a second, is this the Jimmy Reid Foundation, or is this a business group? Well, actually, who's buying their coffees? Who's getting their haircut? Who's getting their houses rebuilt if they can't afford it? If we've got 25% of our entire population hardly economically active, the best way to grow our economy is to take wealth and opportunity and share it equally so that there's more customers there. There's some really strange things starting to happen. All these business people started to say, well, one of the key things I want to happen is we have a happier nation. I'm thinking, well, what about tax and all that? They didn't want to really go there. They said, well, we could be greener, and we could invest in tidal power, we could invest in renewables. We get more engaged because we've got not enough people actually making decisions in Scotland. We've become more entrepreneurial, and the reason we've been more entrepreneurial is because our people have been more confident. We could get that chip off our shoulder and that Scottish cringe, and we can actually launch new companies with the thought that our economy is actually going to support us and we're not going to be left on our own. That we'd have a stronger brand. Now, for instance, the TV coverage from the point that we vote yes or no, that we will vote yes, to the announcement of the result, in advertising terms, if you bought the global TV coverage, would actually cost £800 million. So we have an £800 million advertising budget, ladies and gentlemen, to tell the world that Scotland's going to take its place in the world, that we're excited, we're confident, and that we're a new nation that everyone should look at. Or we can spend £800 million telling them we're no more a country of disruption. I think that's a problem. We'd also be healthier because health and distribution, as we've talked about, of wealth are intrinsically linked. And that's what Business for Scotland stands for, and we have a great deal of that I've just explained to you. That's what we want. Thank you very much.